Today is October 10th, 2023. The time is 7 p.m. Jamie, could we have roll call, please?
Yes, Mr. Heck.
Here.
Mrs. Myers.
Here.
Mr. Van Washington.
Here.
Mrs. Vincent.
Here.
Mrs. Williams. Here. Mr. Zimmerman.
Here. Could we stand for the pledge, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Shaw, are there any additions or deletions to tonight's agenda?
There are none, sir.
Hearing none, can I have a motion?
I'll move to approve the agenda as presented. Support.
Jamie, could we have roll call, please?
Mr. Heck.
Yes.
Mrs. Myers.
Yes.
Mr. Van Washington.
Yes.
Mrs. Vincent.
Yes.
Mrs. Williams. Yes. Mr. Zimmerman.
Yes, the motion passes. And that brings us to superintendent comments. Mr. Shaw.
All right, well, good evening, everybody. So, as a practices, after our last board meeting, we had two community members come and speak to the Board of Education. Yvonne asked around the question about funding for our tutors, and that will be used, the funding will come from our ESSER 3 grant. And then William Bruck came in and presented to the board, making everyone aware that he is available to you. He and I have talked multiple times, and so he and I will stay in touch and look forward to him coming back. But the best part of tonight is we have Mr. Duncan with us and our Student Board of Delegates and our middle school students tonight to do a little presentation. So we're excited for that. And so, Mr. Duncan, the floor is all yours.
Good evening.
Now, do speak into the microphone because we are live streaming this. So you're nice and loud.
Good evening, board. We're here from the Monroe Middle School. I'm Rooney Scholes here with my friends Quentin Kazmierek and Ashlyn Jensen and our principal, Mr. Duncan. And we're talking about additions to the middle school and what has gone on so far. So far this year we've had 2 PEP assemblies, one for the first week back of school and one for homecoming week. We've had the homecoming spirit weekdays and positive behavior referrals that are new to our school. So for the spirit days, we had on Monday Crazy Sock Day. On Tuesday, we had Red and White Day for the Trojans' first home game for football. We had Holiday Day, Neon Day, and Twin Day. And something new that has been happening this year is the positive behavior referrals. And so what it is teachers pass them out when they notice something good is happening in class. So one example is a student went above and beyond to help a very shy student talk in class. So the teachers fill it out and then send it down to the principal's office, and then Mrs. Tadora and Mr. Duncan call home to tell their parents that they did something good, and then they put it on a board in the first hallway once you walk in to the school.
In the beginning of this month, we have been watching something called Weekly Trails, Social Emotional Learning. Manufacturing Day, where some kids went to the industrial inspection where they were exposed to careers and engineering. Buddy, our school dog, needed some Halloween costume ideas, so the school had put a voting system that had started last week. As the student board, we had helped make a survey asking the students which clubs they would like after school.
The U.S. Census Bureau shows that children tend to have higher levels of school engagement when involved in one or more activities like sports, lessons, or clubs. The Princeton Review states, participation in clubs can have your communication skills, foster creative thinking, and teach you how to work effectively with other people. Your extracurricular involvement is one of the few ways that colleges can gain insights to your personality. In hopes of getting students at MMS more involved, we set out to see what clubs they would like to be interested in by participating and conducting a survey. Administration and the MMS Board of Delegates developed a list of potential clubs for MMS. The survey was given to students and their social studies classes using Google Forms.
In the survey that was sent out to the students, here were some of the ideas that were sent out. Arts and crafts, board game club, book club, cosmetology club, Dungeons and Dragons club, filmmaking club, fishing club, and the pep club, and more. And there was also a spot for the kids to put in more ideas for the school to see.
Okay, so here are our top 3 findings, and we wanted to try to get you guys to guess the top 3. So 22% of the students said that they'd be interested in which club do you think? Yeah, that's correct.
I think you gave us a cheat sheet.
I did not look at
Okay.
that.
Oh, okay, all right.
Well, the 3rd most popular club was the Arts
Now I
and
can't
Crafts
guess
Club.
anymore.
And then at number 2, with 27.9%, is the middle school pep club, which is, we had an idea so they could try to promote good cheering and like help plan themes for like different school events and stuff. And the most popular club with 31.1% was school activity clubs to help plan fun school events, and just to have some more fun and be involved with it. And then here's a list of all our other findings. We included like an option for if you might be interested in it too, but so yeah, there's our others.
Here are some of the next steps we are going to take. Given our findings, will share the list with our teachers and see if they are interested in leading any of the clubs that students have shown interest in. 2 clubs that have already been meeting are the Fishing Club and the Dungeons and Dragons Club.
As we are wrapping up our presentation, this will be the time for questions and comments.
I think it's great that you guys are having all these after-school activities.
You have a whole list, which is really nice. I mean, gives us an idea what everybody is kind of interested in, so that's, I'm really, the fishing club kind of intrigues me. I didn't think it'd be that high, but that's great.
That's something that Mrs. Smith has done for a few years, and one of our established clubs already.
So you think that's the reason why we got maybe a higher score than maybe,
I think so, some previous interest,
Yeah.
and we're look forward to continuing the opportunities for that club as well.
So what would be your next plan in getting a new club implemented? I know you said you spoke to teachers. What would be your plan? Do you have a plan after that, or is that step 1?
We just got the results back this week, or late last week, so we're gonna send that list out to teachers to see who'd be interested in sponsoring those clubs that have the highest, actually all clubs, to give students the opportunity to pick from those that were identified. So hopefully we can have that up and running quickly, because we already have clubs that meet after school.
Well, thank you so very much. As always, it's a pleasure having you guys with us, and appreciate all the red, by the way. And great job tonight. That was very well done. You've now set the bar high for the rest of the classes, schools that come through this year. So great job, middle school. So hold on one second. Any parents or other students that want to leave, not have sat through the board meeting, you may. That'd be just fine there.
Okay. Okay. Darla, do we have any public commentary on board agenda items only?
Not for board agenda items.
Okay. Let's see, acceptance of reports. We have our contracted service report and our resignation report. Is there any discussion? All right. Hearing none, next we have our consent agenda items. Are there any items that board members would like to be moved off the consent agenda item and moved over to new business?
and hearing none, I would move that agenda items B to A, B, B, have them considered consent agenda and consent agenda items approved as recommended.
Could I have support?
Support.
All right, Jamie, could we have roll call, please?
Yes. Mrs. Williams.
Yes.
Mrs. Vincent.
Yes.
Mr. Van Washenova.
Yes.
Mrs. Myers.
Yes.
Mr. Heck.
Yes.
Mr. Zimmerman.
Yes, and the motion passes. Mrs. Flynn, are there any new hires here tonight?
No, I don't.
We
Uh,
do
there
have-
is a new- Well, he
Jane.
is.
Oh,
Is she here?
okay.
I can't see. Oh, okay. Honestly, I don't know if the people up here were looking at me, looking at them, because I was trying to see if she was here. Danielle, come up.
Come on now, Freddie.
Danielle Rumley is, come up to the podium, if you will. Danielle, we're so excited to have her. She was working in the tech department, and she thought that working in Monroe Public Schools, doing something else would be something she'd like to do. And she interviewed with us, and we hired her. And tell them what you're gonna do.
I'm going to be a float secretary. I'm based out of the high school.
And a float secretary is someone, we want people to be backups, it's sort of like a succession plan. So when we have one leave, we've got someone trained that can go step right in. Or if someone is out at the high school, she can go sit at the desk and do their job, just like it's her own. So we're excited to have her.
Because it's going to be her own.
Yes, it will.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh, wait. You gotta greet us.
Oh,
Gotta come over.
You get to come around and
You gotta shake hands.
Tradition.
It won't hurt.
everybody.
We'll see you.
Congratulations.
He's on the roster.
Congratulations.
I don't,
You have to press the flesh here.
Congratulations. Watch your step there.
she used to work in technology
Yeah.
before she got this job.
Congratulations.
Bumming.
Next, let's see, where are we at? New business would be the coaching resolution. Mrs. Flynn.
Yes, thank you, President Zimmerman. Tonight, we're asking the board to move to approve the above-named coaches for the 2023-24 school year as per the MCEA master agreement.
Can I get a motion?
I'll move that we approve the coaches.
Support?
Support.
Roll call, please, Jamie.
Yes. Mr. Heck.
Yes.
Mrs. Myers.
Yes.
Mr. Van Washenova.
Yes.
Mrs. Vincent.
Yes.
Mrs. Williams.
Yes.
Mr. Zimmerman.
Yes, and the motion passes. Let's see, the 2022-2023 financial audit. Ms. Shook.
Thank you, President Zimmerman. Tonight, we are asking the board to move to accept the 2022-2023 financial audit as prepared by the firm of Calkins, Hale, and Raffco of Monroe.
Can we get a motion?
I'll move that we approve the financial audit for the 22-23 year as prepared by the firm Calkins, Hale, and Raffco.
I'll support.
Can we get roll call, please, Jamie?
Yes. Mrs. Williams.
Yes.
Mrs. Vincent.
Yes.
Mr. Van Washenova.
Yes.
Mrs. Myers.
Yes.
Mr. Heck.
Yes.
Mr. Zimmerman.
Yes, and the motion passes. Let's see, old business. Next, let's see, Mr. Shaw.
So ProMedica patient transfer agreement. A few months ago, we brought this forward to you. There were some questions, so we took the agreement back, worked with ProMedica to have it revised. And a couple of the areas that were revised was around the point of that, it's called Mercy Memorial Hospital Corporation, but it's a doing business ProMedica. And then we also made sure it specified Monroe Public Schools specifically. And then we also addressed the insurance coverage, and it's the same coverage that we have with ProMedica expectations with our agreement we have with them for counseling and nursing. And so with that is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Education move forward with approving the transfer agreement with ProMedica Hospital.
Can we get a motion?
I move, that's not a good idea. I move, no, it's okay.
Sure.
I move to approve the ProMedica Emergency Evacuation Patient Transfer Agreement between Monroe Public Schools and Mercy Memorial Hospital.
I'll support that motion.
Okay, is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please, Jamie.
Yes, Mr. Heck,
Yes.
Mrs. Myers,
Yes.
Mr. Van Washenova.
Yes.
Mrs. Vincent,
Yes.
Mrs. Williams.
Yes.
Mr. Zimmerman.
Yes, and the motion passes. That takes us to superintendent comments. Mr. Shaw.
So our fall testing is tomorrow for our high school, and that's the PSAT 9, and then for freshmen, and then sophomores and juniors will take the PSAT also. Family workshop this Thursday at the Monroe Middle School. We'll have our second family workshop for peer-to-peer mistreatment. We do invite anyone that is a parent to come on out and take part. It was really an enjoyable evening last week with with our parents there. National School Lunch Week is coming up October 9th through the 13th, and so much appreciation around everything that happens through our lunch breakfast program. And then we do our celebrating an appreciation luncheon on Wednesday the 18th with Sodexo, our maintenance custodial staff, technology staff. We think about all the work that they did this past summer, and so we want to step out and appreciate them. And this last Friday, I had the opportunity to take part in a dinner with our mayor and with the delegates from Whole Foods Japan. And that's our sister city. And for the last 30 years, we've had an exchange program, and due to COVID, that exchange program stopped. They were really hoping that it would have engaged again last year, but Japan had some restrictions. But this coming summer, they're looking to have it restart back up. The exchange program is 5 of our students go over to Japan for 3 weeks, and 5 of their students would come this direction. And so this Friday night, and this past weekend, they actually had their delegates here. And it was a great time to meet everybody, and that's part of their requirements is to actually have their delegates come before as it begins. And so look for more to come out from this that will be re-engaging, and it's not just a high school item, it's a middle school, high school, and it's actually county-wide too. And so, but that's gonna be up and going. But it was a wonderful dinner and opportunity. I was actually able to sit next to what they call the supervisor of their education for HOFU. And so just a step below the superintendent right there, and talking about just the differences in the 2 education systems, and it was really a great night. And I asked her how she was the one to get invited, and she was invited because they always have to have 1 person or 2 people that are also English speaking, and so she was part of it because of programs that she'd gone through, and so she was actually the English teacher in their system, and so it was a beautiful night. What I learned, thank goodness people give you a heads up on this stuff, is that they also bring gifts, and so you need to be ready. Yeah. Yeah, well, thank goodness. So afterwards, I'll show you, because we actually gave our T-shirts this year that we gave out to all the employees, and so they were just thrilled to death. In fact, this one gentleman, I'll show you a picture. I mean, he actually took off his coat, he put the shirt on, held up his hands. He was ecstatic over this. But his wife, and he brought different things. Everyone brought some. His wife made the origami, so the folding paper, a Santa. It was about this big for your tree. It is the coolest thing. I'll bring that stuff in for you guys to see for our tomorrow night. But it was just an amazing night, a chance to meet everybody. So I'm looking forward to keeping you informed of what's going to be happening with our exchange program here. But it was just a beautiful night. So that takes care of my comments for tonight.
Public commentary, any topic. Darla, do we have any more?
Yes, we do. Tabitha? Tabitha, I'm going to let you know, you have 3 minutes, and I'm going to hold you up some signs to kind of give you an idea of how long you have until your 3 minutes are up, okay?
My name is Tabitha Barron. I'm here on the behalf of my son and my nephew that gets bullied in school. And my son did go to the Orchard School here in Monroe. He quit the school system and went to K-12 of the bullying, the teasing because of his syndrome he's got. My nephew goes to the Custard. The second day of school, he was getting bullied because of his weight. So what can we do to these kids. Because my son ain't going to school no more. He wants to do everything at home now. He won't even go outside to play or nothing.
So Tabitha, during this time, we want to give you an opportunity to express your concerns, ask any questions you may ask, but then we would appreciate some time to be able to put together our answer and pull all the information together with you, because the school's been really working on this, and we could put that together for you. And then someone will reach out to you, and at the next board meeting, it'll be addressed as well. Okay, so
And I want to say something. Because kids tease him, and then when they say something about me to him, he gets upset and he can't defend himself because he gets in trouble. So then he gets kicked out of school for a week because he defended his mom, because these other kids are telling him what they're gonna do to me, and he gets upset, and because I'm the only parent he's got right now, because his dad passed away. I'm the only parent he's got. So he don't want nothing to happen to his mom. The kid's 16 years old, has a Noonan syndrome. So he's very protected over me. And that's why he's not in the school system anymore. But my nephew don't have a choice because he's only 8 years old.
So Tabitha, we thank you so much for coming. Do you have anything else you'd like to add, and you'd like anybody to know?
Nope, that's it.
All right, we thank you so much for coming and sharing your concerns, and
Thank you for listening.
we'll get back to you, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
That concludes comments.
That's it. That brings us to board member commentary. Any board member have a commentary tonight?
I do. I'm just figuring how to turn the clock off. I had sent out an email, and I'm not sure how effective the email was to get out to everybody, but the FBI has put out a public service announcement, and it was put out on September 12th of 23. And the headline is violent online groups extort minors to self-harm and produce child sexual abuse material. So it's a several-page document. It's an alert. It can be found online through fbi.gov. And if you look up public service announcement, it's on there. It's several pages long. It talks about recommendations that the FBI has made to the parents and caregivers of the students. It talks about additional resources that there is, and there's programs that some of them have been out there for a while, but in order to help educate. So I just wanted to make sure the board was aware of it, and that others are aware that this information's out there. So if you reach out to someone here, we can get you that if you need it. Thank you.
Anyone else?
I do, just to provide some context, because I know that our board meeting today is relatively short compared to others. Many of the processes and things that the board voted on, we've thought about, we've read thoroughly, and we've had some presentations. So the things on the agenda tonight that you might be wondering about, things like the ProMedica patient transfer agreement, that was discussed at previous board meetings, and it was brought back to us today after some conversations. The coaching resolution was put into our hands as part of our board briefs that we get, so we can read and prepare before meetings happen. And then the financial audit, we had a fantastic presentation at our September 26th work session that was all about every detail that you can imagine in that financial audit, and it was conducted not only by Ms. Shook, but it was also conducted by the professionals that completed the audit. So just to provide you some background and some understanding that it wasn't us just reading items, rubber stamping, and moving on.
The only thing I would like to add to that is our workshops are open to the public.
May I?
Absolutely.
I'd like
Grab your
to-
microphone.
Sorry. I'd like to just ask for a moment of silence in Kate Wendelborn's memory. We recently lost a staff member over the last couple weeks here, and it's been very difficult for our students and staff members. Thank you.
I thank you for mentioning that, because, and someone can help me with his name, Sam. Maybe Josh, you remember Sam's, what's his
Lucille.
last name?
Lucy.
Lucille. Sam worked security for this administration building I've been coming to board meetings for years, and he's been here every single board meeting I think that I've attended to. He was always so happy. He greeted you, just opened the door for you, and he was so welcoming at the door. And he had passed away, and I don't know the exact date, but I know it was the end of September. And my apologies to his wife for not having remembered him sooner. But there's a lot of people that are part of everything that goes on around here that provide a lot to everything that goes on, and every single person's valuable and every single person's special. And I just want to mention Sam. He's missed by me when I come in that door. So
Thanks for bringing that up, Darla. Anyone else? Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion. Motion to adjourn.
Support?
support.
Show of hands. This concludes our agenda for the evening.